Welcome back, you Red Eye Watchers, to Horizon Forbidden West. In the last episode, we cleared a mine for a side quest, learned a little bit more about certain aspects of the game, such as the stash, and how upgrades work, which is really nice. We also found a tower with a lens, or a broken lens, right all the way up there. There's a few other things that I feel like I've been noticing or not entirely sure about. But we were also getting our ass handed to us by some of these local machines. Ultra hard may have been a questionable decision, but so far so good. It's been fun. A little aggravating when you get stuck sometimes, but it always happens. But for now, ooh, that's not how I dive. Okay then. Alright, made it. Thought I pressed square at the top of a jump to dive. Oh well. Ooh! And then we do have, this is a new thing. Little green crystals. These are specifically used to upgrade, or, I believe, special merchants like those. Oh, that's a bummer. Unknown. Is it right here? Am I right next to it? Am I missing something? Or is it down? Little confused about that. It's technically here. Oh, snap! Whew! And there's another one. The ability to free dive in this game is insane, but I do also like the open world aspect of even be able to travel underwater. Even though I think water is like the most hated gameplay mechanic most people have, I still think it's amazing. If you can include underwater as part of your gameplay, you've definitely hit next level. Because it's also an additional challenge. You don't have the equipment required to swim deep enough to progress. Got it. Ooh, no, 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 no. Blocked path, missing tool needed. Okay. That's good to know. Oh yeah, our mission right now is to find Aaron so that we can get this embassy started. And what are we on? The Daunt. That's right. We're in the Daunt. Unfortunately, there's a machine problem, and the Karja Sun Priest, Studious, whatever his name is, I like to call him Useless, has partitioned us to clear the way, because he's a coward and refuses to move from the spot until all the machines are gone, or at least a definitive path is made. But I'm certain that there's a an auspicious reason why the machines are kind of going ballistic. So, it would benefit us to do this anyway. Oh, hey, this is where I was. This is where I technically started. Alright. Not a pickup plant? Okay. River bloom. Keep this for a cook. Oh, right. I do have a few ingredients that mention cooks. So I wonder if food actually has a bit more of use in this instead of just generic healing. Maybe actually provide some exploratory benefits. Also, we now have free climbing. Oop, come back. Instead of being restricted to specific climbing nodes like in Zero Dawn. Which now this looks so much more impressive. A lot more freedom as well, which is the best part about these kinds of games. Oops. Woohoo! Whoa!
Seen better days.
Alright, that launch is much more effective than I thought it was going to be. I've only ever had to use it once, so I figured I'd try it again. Just to be safe. Make sure I can... Blocked path? What do you mean blocked path?
I don't think I can get past them. Guess I should leave it for now.
Get past what? What is this thing? Is this not one of the metal flowers?
Focus. Come back later.
Special gear required? Okay, that's different. Does that also affect this blue plant over here? Excuse me. Nope, nope. Don't do things like that. Oh, the music is so great.
Made it.
Woo!
And there's
Stop that, stop that.
those devices.
We got another one of these. Cool.
Lens. Guess I'll figure out what to do with it later.
Oh, cool. Is that Chainscrape? It looks like it would be. That's cool. I like that. This is a nice little village. Whee! That's gotta hurt. Interesting that there's a path over here. There, a boar. I think I need squirrels, rabbits, raccoons, and boar for upgrade stuffs. Cool. Interesting. No, why? Some more green shine.
Nice.
Cool.
Deposit of green shine.
Anything else in this area? Maybe? Sweet.
Get this turned into something tasty.
The bitter leaf? Okay, I'll take your word for it. Oop.
That must be Chainscrape. Drew said I could get my bow upgraded in there. I'd be able to tinker with my other gear too.
Oh, we already did that. Alright, cool. That's all the side stuffs.
Olvin can't just ignore us like this, can he? We almost died because of it.
Have you seen us? What are we supposed to do?
Outlander approaching. Is that the Savior? Wanna come in, Savior?
I do.
Welcome to Chainscrape, Savior.
Open up, guys. Jor's orders.
Good enough for me.
You call me savior, and then you need me to clarify that Jaruf let me.
Petra? Aloy, what are you doing here?
What are you doing here?
About time there was something worth looking at in this dump.
It's nice to see you too.
And not a moment too soon. Come on. Damn brewery's the only thing I can count on in this place.
Yeah, I heard. Machines, work stoppage.
Oh, those are just the latest malfunctions. Chainscrape's always been a few tools short of a kit.
Mhm.
And right there is the biggest tool of all.
Oh, great.
Roland?
You've heard of him,
Yeah.
but he's a story best told over a cold beer.
I'll bet.
Petra. I'm just passing through. I'm headed west.
Oh,
There's an embassy at Barren Light I need to make happen, and then I keep moving.
ah, of course. Bigger gears to grind.
Yeah.
Flame hair, good to see you. You've got to move on.
Petra.
But if you want a cold beer and a few laughs with an old friend, come find me at the brewery. Your choice.
I can do that. We got time. I am struggling to remember.
Well, this Olvan guy sounds like trouble. Maybe Petra could use some support. But first things first, I need to find that workbench and upgrade my bow.
We're ahead of schedule, don't worry. Okay, so, with me doing Horizon Zero Dawn on New Game Plus, I did get to a decent location. I got more than halfway through the game before I was homeless, and then took the time to finish it before starting this. However, I don't quite remember the whole story, nor all the side content, which I know was quite a bit if memory serves. So, kind of blanking on Petra right now. Boar bone, cool. Skull bone, boar hide. I only had one? Damn. Peccary? What the hell is a peccary? I have never heard of such a creature.
Shop looks closed.
Yep.
Can I still use the workbench?
I ain't gonna stop you.
Thanks.
Maybe finally someone who will outdrink me, huh?
See where I put my drink.
Mhm.
Anyone? Anyone?
Is it in your hand?
Salutation.
Nope, closed. Okay. Ooh, this is a nice place. Is this the brewery? It is. Unknown melee pit?
Hey, Milda. I took some of your stew last time I went.
Throw half an onion in there?
Kept me going for a week. I felt like I could have put a strider in a sleeper hole.
Enjoy it while it lasts.
Sounds like you're serving up some impressive provisions here.
Please don't eat that raw.
Not again. You can have the discount too, but you'll have to come back later.
I think you have me confused with someone else.
Oven didn't send you?
No.
Oh, my apologies. It's just that his minions won't stop pestering me. Now I've even worn out my special grill. Since I'm in the midst of a crisis, perhaps you could skip to what it is you wanted.
Some of your food?
Food? I hear you're the best.
Are Alden's people causing you problems?
Oh,
Well, I actually haven't heard that, but I'm assuming.
But the equipment I need to make my signature dishes isn't built for batch cooking. And don't get me started on the Olven discount they feel so entitled to.
And if you refuse?
I make meals, no trouble.
How did you end up in Chainscrape?
Heard about a new and upcoming town at the edge of the frontier. Where there's a town, there's a tavern. I was in need of work. So I got myself out here and started cooking. Some of these people had never tasted proper boars and berries stew before. Anyway, next thing I knew, people kept coming back. Guess they liked my food. Or the ale.
Or both.
Your last customer mentioned
Good
your
beer
cooking
isn't
kept him
really
going out in the
worth much
wild.
without good food to go with it.
Where I'm headed, I could use some of that.
I would be happy to oblige, especially since you have the decency to ask pleasantly.
But
But my
Thanks.
special groove griddle is no more. Without it, I can't cook any of my signature dishes. I hate to think what'll happen when I'm forced to refuse Olven or his goons. Even if I already had the right ingredients, there's nothing I can do. Unless you can source me a temporary replacement?
what do you need?
For the ingredients, a few pieces of decent wild meat, and I'd say a big handful of bitter leaf stems.
Well, I only have
That'll
two.
do. As for the griddle, a corrugated metal panel might suffice until I can have a new one forged. You'd likely find one in a scrounger pile if you follow the river to the northeast. Don't worry, I'll clean it first. You'll have a place you finding boars and bitter leaf on your way. Assuming you're as much a hunter-gatherer as your clothing suggests.
Thanks, Mildif. I'll keep an eye out.
So that's what gratitude sounds like,
Don't let anyone push you around, okay?
if you say so.
That was adorable. A dash of courage. Alright. Ah! I'm one bitter leaf away. What's this melee pit over here? Whee! It would help.
You wanted to speak to me?
Well, you know better than anyone it's a dangerous world out there, and not just against machines. Name's Oseram. This here's my training pit. Best place to practice close combat this side of the Forbidden West. Say, I wonder who'd win in a fight. You, the savior of Meridian, champion of the East, or the enduring, master of the West.
Who?
The Enduring, a legendary Tanakh fighter, the master of masters.
Okay.
I've heard the Tanakh have training pits just like this one. It's how the warriors get so fierce, see? And only the very best from the pits get to train with the Enduring.
So, to find the Enduring, I should look for these training pits if I'm ever out that way?
You'll have to go far if you do. The Tanakh are split into 3 clans. 3
Interesting.
clans,
That's news.
3 capitals, 3 training pits.
That's
My
it?
guess is you'd have to beat all of them if you want to train with the Enduring. If the Tanakh don't kill you on sight, that is. But that's a far spark in the wind. As for right now, I also offer challenges to test your fighting skill.
Who would I be fighting exactly? You?
Well, I know you're the savior and all, but you have to beat all the others first to challenge me. Rules are rules.
Okay.
We only use dual blades and practice arrows, mind. These drunken fools would run themselves through otherwise. You'll have to leave everything but your spear and practice arrows at the gate. But I'll look after your gear, not to worry.
Okay.
So, what do you say? Up for some training?
I might be.
That's what I like to hear.
Melee Pit Chainscrape. Melee Pits test your close quarters fighting skills against other human opponents. Complete all challenges against other fighters to ultimately face the Pit Master. The Pit also allows you to practice your melee skills in a focused tutorial or an open-ended training session. Cool. And unlock combos and focused tutorials. Interesting. Need to learn Resonator Blast. Need to learn Nora Warrior. Oh my god, that's a lot. I don't... Well, I guess...
Ignoring me again? Yeah!
Attacks are fast,
Easy peasy.
easily blocked. So learn to combine them with other attacks.
Okay, we'll get to that. You have mastered light attacks. Complete all challenges in the melee pit to unlock the Pitmaster challenge. Got it. We're gonna go through all this first.
Heavy attacks break weapon blocks and do more damage. But they're slow, so your opponents might counterattack.
Got it.
Power attacks smash weapon blocks to really hammer an enemy with damage. But they're slow and leave you vulnerable, so pick your moment.
Cool. I need to learn Block Breaker, I need to learn Resonator Blast, and I need both of those. Okay. Okay. So I'll come back to those. That's cool.
We are on the same side here, the bristleback.
Ooh, no, I don't want that. Active quest. There we go. Oh, hey.
We all know it was the Carja who let the bristlebacks into the valley, sent them straight through the gates of barren light.
That is preposterous. Why would we let dangerous machines into our own land?
That is an excellent question.
Honest Oseram laborers work tirelessly with no say in its governance. The land, should you sign the decree,
Oh, you and that damned concession decree.
would be managed by the people who actually live and work on it.
Sounds fair.
What do you want, Olund? Some kind of payment?
My dear magistrate, you think I can be bought? If you want that whistle blown, all you have to do is have your soldiers remove the bristlebacks and sign the concession decree. Face it, what other choice do you have?
Hi.
I'll offer you a third one.
Savior, what auspicious timing. Might we discuss a matter of importance to the Sundom?
We might. Later.
Very well. I shall be waiting.
So, the savior herself. Walloper of Derval, gutter of youth.
Maybe.
I've heard many tales of your beauty and heroics, my fierce lady warrior. Olvent Freehold, at your service. So, what could have dragged you away from the fine silks and wine of Meridian to this smudge of a settlement? Your saviorly attention must be needed elsewhere.
I'm here for the embassy and...
The embassy? Why, by the forge. Ah. Greater gears for greater matters. Guess that means you'll be moving on.
Once I've dealt with any problems around here that need my saviorly attention.
Ah, the bristlebacks, of course. Got to get rid of them if you want that embassy to take place.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
I can tell you're scheming.
let's get to it, hey? And off you go.
Not so fast. You don't seem to have a high opinion of the magistrate?
Well, I refuse to play nice to some fancy-robed parchment pusher when my fellow laborers are being bullied, intimidated, and taken advantage of.
How noble of you.
Noble, ha! Born with a hammer in hand, I was. Nobody handed me anything or dropped opportunity into my lap. Everything I've achieved, I've done on my own.
And where is this hammer now?
Right?
The,
So you
burden
being
of leadership
more of a...
forced me to set it aside.
I doubt
Hard to
that.
risk nothing, while demanding that good Oseram gamble with their lives out there. Someone had to step up and say no more.
You ordered the work stoppage?
Indeed I did. We're laborers, not soldiers. Until the Karja clean up their mess and give us the fair deal we deserve, I'm not risking Oseram lives.
Fair deal? You mean your concession decree?
It's not my decree. It's on behalf of all the good Oseram laborers of this land who do all the back-breaking work, while only the Karja reap the rewards. All we're asking for is the ability to share in this prosperity for a land worked by the people, for the people.
Right.
Can you give me a little more details on this decree?
Only an amount appropriate to my contributions to this community, of course.
If Chainscrape is on Karja land, shouldn't a Karja be in charge? Who appointed you?
The sensibilities of good Oseram folk, of course. You think a Karja can head this whole venture?
Sounds like a scam.
The magistrate can barely make the trek from Barren Light without losing a few screws.
So you have no real authority then? People only follow you because you say so. Loudly.
Anyone who has followers has authority. I've been with Chainscrape
Not exactly.
from the beginning. I mean, I'm practically its founder, and its honest folk know I'm indispensable to its success.
You said you founded Chainscrape. Somehow I doubt that.
Practically founded, I said. I alone saw its potential when it was just a smattering of tents in Barren Light's shadow. I invested in the mine, convinced some friends back home to do the same, and here we are. You could say Chainscrape is what it is thanks to me.
Oh, so you're not just standing around and profiting off everyone else?
It sounds like you're just standing around popping off everyone else.
Sure, I make a little return on my investment here and there, but my main priority, as it was from the beginning, is to look after the well-being of these honest, working Oseram.
You sound like a slime ball.
Where's the whistle?
Right in the middle of town, but with the threat out there, I'm not endangering innocent Oseram lives.
I'm going to clear out the bristlebacks. And when I'm done, this valley is gonna get moving.
If that's what it takes. Until then, I'll keep looking after the safety of these good folk.
Just be ready to blow the whistle.
That's a side quest? I thought that was a main quest.
I bet he's in the tavern.
Which, why couldn't I find Petra in the tavern? Unknown machine strike, what? How did I just get... Did I gain another one?
Savior,
That's weird.
thank you for taking the time. And my condolences that you had to endure Olvent's bloviating.
That's an interesting word.
It sounds like he's really trying to put you over the barrel.
The idea that the Karja purposely let bristlebacks into the Dawn, It's
That is
completely
absolutely ridiculous.
But the louder and
Although-
longer he says it, the more support he'll get for his damned concession decree.
How
We
did
have
you
seen some
suppose-
dumb stuff.
No one knows for sure.
People are dumb and
The
selfish.
first report of them came from west of the quarry. But unless they have wings I don't know about, I don't see how they could have come over the mountains.
No other way.
The only way I know about is barren light. Look, if you can get to the bottom of this, I can offer a considerable bounty in return.
Ooh, now you're talking my language.
Shut Ulvund up.
What is this concession decree that Ulvund wants?
He
Yeah, it's very
wants
unclear about
the
that.
Sundom to designate portions of the Daunt as Oseram holdings. Only the portions, mind you, that produce any value.
Let me guess. Because he stands to profit somehow?
Exactly.
Hmm.
With the Daunt under Oseram law, he could secure more investment for their numerous ventures.
He can't get those investments without the concession?
No. Not while there's a chance the Sundom could revoke their access. Hence, why the concession is so important to him. And why blaming the Karja for the bristlebacks, no matter how absurd, works in his favor.
Yeah, no, that's easy.
How does blaming the Karja for the bristlebacks help Ulvund get his concession?
Look around. This may be the Sundom, but Chainscrape is all gears and rust and bad ale. Claiming that the Karja loosed the bristlebacks in order to intimidate Oseram laborers into obedience. Well,
It's an effective
let's just
ploy.
say no one here has forgotten the atrocities of the Mad Sun King. And with the bristlebacks bringing work in the valley to a halt, Ulvund has plenty of time to pick at barely healed wounds.
And if the Oseram refuse to work, unless the concession is signed, you won't have a choice.
Correct. The reconstruction of Barren Light must continue.
How did you get stuck out here?
I asked for the posting, believe it or not.
Why?
Overseeing the entire valley on behalf of the Sun King? It was an honor. Is an honor, I mean.
Your job would
Yeah.
be a lot easier without someone like Ulvund blasting hot air all the time.
Ulvund's not going anywhere. He's
Sound
been
like you
around
slightly
longer
regret
than
it,
I
but-
have. Even fancies himself the founder of Chainscrape. Well, I'll find a way to live with him. I have to.
Yeah, kinda.
You said the bristlebacks were first spotted west of the quarry?
Yes, according to one terrified laborer, said the ground trembled before they came charging down the hillside. He took off and ran all the way here.
Good place to start looking then.
If you learn the truth, maybe Ulvund will stop blaming the Karja for every problem under the sun. and
Oh,
maybe
watch it be
then
have something to do with
he'll actually
Ulvund.
Focus on rebuilding Barren Light instead.
I'm almost willing Ulvund had a hand in this. I'm willing to bet that Ulvund had a hand in this. What is you?
Change your mind about that brew?
I did.
Come to revel in some strike, sister? Let me set the board.
I was
Strike.
just passing by.
First timer, huh? Don't worry about it. I'll go easy on you. You got any pieces?
No, I do not.
Well, aren't you in luck?
Ooh, I'm all about strategy games. Let's go.
A Tanakh original straight out of the Forbidden West. Sit. I'll run you through it in a hot spark. I'll give you something special if you win it on my boards, too.
Okay. I do like prizes. I do like games. Beginner's tutorial not completed. Opponent's set. I don't know what that means. Oh, goody. That's what the tutorial is for. Do I get to look at it? Oh my, what is this? Burrower melee type. Oh, look at it. It's adorable. No skill. This machine does not have a skill. Interesting. I don't know what any of that means. Start challenge. Yes.
All right, let's start off simple. The Tanakhs like to say that Machine Strike is a game of pure strategy.
Okay.
We each get a set of pieces. Each piece represents a kind of machine, And each machine is worth a different number of victory points.
Cool.
And to win the game, you'll need to gain 7 victory points by destroying the opponent's machines.
Okay.
It can be tricky remembering the details of every machine, so we use these notes to keep track of them.
Okay.
You see that number on the top right corner?
Yes. Victory points.
That there is how many victory points you'll get for destroying that machine.
Mm-hmm.
Notes also tell you how far a piece can move,
Okay.
how powerful their attacks are,
Self-explanatory.
the distance they can strike from,
That's what that one means.
and of course, their health.
Got it.
Okay, that's enough for now. Let's just play. I'll explain the rest as we go.
Okay.
I own the board, so I get to choose who goes first.
Okay.
Since this is your first time, I'll let you go. Usually you get to choose which pieces to set on the board, but this will do for now. Pick up that machine piece to your right, and move it forward. And remember, each machine can only move a certain distance. Take a look at your notes if you need a reminder.
Ah.
Easy enough, huh? Now, you get to move 2 machines each round, so go ahead and pick a second machine. Perfect.
Okay.
There's not much else to do for now, so just end your turn.
What's overcharge mean?
We're forging onwards. Let me move my pieces here. And we're back to you. This time, why don't you try attacking one of my pieces? Try with that machine on your right first. Now move the piece close enough. When performing an attack, you'll be testing your machine's combat power against the opponent's. A machine's combat power is a combination of the terrain your machine is standing on and its own attack power.
Okay.
This board only has grassland terrain, which has no effect on a machine's combat power.
Okay.
And your current machine has 2 points of attack power. So in total, your machine's combat power equals 2 points.
Yes.
Since my machine isn't the one attacking, it has 0 points of attack power. And just like your machine, it's not affected by grassland terrain.
Got it.
So right now, the difference in combat power between the 2 machines is 2 points. This means your machine can do 2 points of damage to my machine. Did you get all that?
Yep. Can I hit attack? Oh. Yes,
Knew you
let's
were a
keep going.
smart one. Finish up by attacking my machine. Not pulling any punches, huh? Now grab that second machine of yours. See how your machine can't move close enough to attack mine? You can make your machine sprint. That lets it move 1 space further. Try it out. Go ahead, just sprint over to my machine.
I thought I did.
If you sprint, you'll be able to reach my machine.
Okay, what am I missing? Oh, you want me to go to that one?
Downside to sprinting is that your machine can no longer attack. Now, some players like to take a risk and overcharge their machine in cases like this. Overcharging lets you attack after a sprint, but it will damage your machine's health by 2 points.
Got it.
So use at your own discretion. Let's try doing that now so you can see what I mean. That's about it for your turn then.
Yep, so you're gonna beat that one, or you're just gonna...
I'll let you in on a neat trick. That machine of yours, the one closest to me, grab a hold of it. Same as in the wilds, machines have both armored points and weak points. You can see them marked on the pieces.
Right.
Blue shows where their armor is thickest. Hit them there and you'll do some damage, but not a lot. Now, red shows the machine's weak points. Hit those and you'll deal a mighty blow. Here, let me show you. Rotate that piece so your machine faces mine. Now let that machine have it. Off the board
That still only did 2 damage, though.
There's your first victory points. You don't have 7 of them yet, so let's keep going. Your machine attacked mine, but hasn't moved yet. Go ahead and move downwards towards my remaining piece. You've already attacked a machine and moved your piece. But if you overcharge your machine, you can attack a second time. And by the look of your machine's health, you'd be sacrificing your piece to defeat mine. But sometimes, that can be a just gotta overcharge that machine and attack mine. Ain't that a thrill? Now, because your machine was knocked out at the same time as mine, we both get the victory points our machines are worth. Good news is, since you're the one attacking, you're gonna receive your victory points before I do. Which means you can reach the coveted 7 victory points first.
Got it.
That's why sometimes losing a piece can be the best way to end a game in your favor.
Yeah, sacrifice fly.
You'll notice you didn't get quite up to 7 victory points this time, but you did destroy all my pieces. That means you're the winner! That wasn't so hard, was it? Just remember to always check for the best terrain to attack from. You'd be surprised the advantage you can gain over an opponent like that. I know it saved my behind in a game or two.
I'll try and remember that.
Oh, before I forget, these are all my spare pieces. I want the Savior of Meridian to have them.
Oh, thanks.
It's a small set to be sure, but it should be enough to get you in on any strike games you find out there.
Dope.
You might even fancy looking out for them strike coffers. They've got all kinds of unique pieces that can turn the game in your favor, though they'll need the right materials to craft you one. Or you might find them in the wilds if you're lucky. You know, I've lost my fair share of pieces after a night of machine hunting or brew hopping. No need to thank me. Always a pleasure to help out new strike players. Now, if you feel like playing a real game, I've got plenty of other boards. I could even teach you a few more tricks if you're up for it.
Okay.
Thanks. I'll think about it.
Nice. Terrain and knockback tutorial. How much time do I have? We're gonna go for it.
Ah, I knew I'd make a strike player out of you yet. How about this time I tell you how to use a board's terrain to your advantage? This one's got all the different terrains you can encounter in a game of Strike. Knowing when and how to use them can mean the difference between victory and defeat. Terrain mainly affects your machine's combat power. As you know, when fighting an opponent's machine, you compare its combat power to yours. The higher your machine's combat power, the more damage you can do. So finding the right terrain is an essential strategy for overpowering your opponent. Here, I'll show you. Grab that piece to your left and move to attack my machines. Now let's take a look at your machine's combat power. Combat power is the sum of a machine's attack power and the value of the terrain it's standing on.
Right.
Since your machine is attacking, it's using its 2 points of attack power. It's also standing on forest terrain with a value of 1 point.
Yep.
Add those together, and your machine has 3 points of combat power.
Yeah,
My
little
machine's standing on
single
grassland terrain with
single
a value
diamond on it.
of 0 points. It's also not attacking, which means their attack points aren't in play. So my combat power is 0. This means your machine can do 3 points of damage.
Does this mean
Go
I
ahead and
get
test it out.
1 point of defense
go.
when you attack me?
Now, choosing the right terrain doesn't just improve your offense. It can also help defend your machines
Yep,
from attack.
got it.
Grab your other piece and place it in front of my second machine. Since your machine is attacking, it's using its 2 points of attack power. It's standing on grassland terrain. This terrain has a value of 0. This means your machine's combat power adds up to 2 points.
Right.
My machine can't use their attack powers since they're defending their position. But they have the higher ground. They're standing on forest terrain, which is worth 1 point.
Mm-hmm.
This means my combat power adds up to 1 point.
That's not what the
The
little
front of my
display
machine
says,
is
but
colored blue. This means that
Oh,
the spot
right.
you're about to attack has armor protecting it.
that's right.
which means my machine gets an extra point, giving it a total of 2 combat power points. If we compare the combat power of both machines, you'll see that you won't be able to do any damage. Whenever you're unable to top an opponent's combat power, you can still choose to attack and break their machine's defenses instead.
Okay.
Go ahead, try it out and see what happens. Ha, see?
Oop.
When you break a machine's defenses, you can knock it backwards.
Okay.
Sure, both our machines will receive 1 point of damage, but knocking my machine off that terrain makes it more vulnerable to attacks. Not only
Well,
that,
not really. It's still on a
if my
forest
machine had
tile.
been blocked from moving backwards, it would have received an extra point of damage.
Oh, nice.
And if my machine had been blocked by another one of my pieces, that machine would have received damage as well. That's why breaking a machine's defenses is a great way to deal damage to several pieces at once.
That's cool.
Useful, right? Okay, now go ahead and end your turn. There's still one more thing I want to show you.
Okay.
All right, as we've seen, the higher the terrain, the more it'll add to your machine's combat power.
Right.
However, there are 2 other terrains that work a little differently. This is what we call a chasm. Only flying machines can be placed on those.
Ah, okay.
But it'll take away 2 combat points if you do, so
Why?
be wary.
That doesn't make sense,
This
though.
is marsh terrain. Landing on it will take away 1 combat power point from most machines. It'll also keep your machine from moving for the rest of the turn.
Ah.
Here, let me show you. Grab that machine on your left.
I'd rather not.
See? All you can do now is wait for your next turn to move again. Or you can overcharge your machine to get out of there. You can still attack any nearby enemies so you're not completely helpless.
But I get a -1.
Well, I think that's enough yammering for me for now. Promise it'll all come in handy next time you play.
Oh. Okay. Machine types and skills. Ooh, look at that. Is that a lance horn and a... Oh, what's the ram called? Oh, it's a grazer and a charger. That's right, charger. Cool.
Here for more tips? Why don't I tell you a bit more about the pieces we used to play? In a normal game, you get to choose which machines you place on the board. Each one is worth a certain number of setup points, and you can spend up to 10 assembling your army.
Oof.
Knowing what each machine brings to the game and building an army that matches your strategy is the key to becoming a machine strike master. When assembling your army, there are a few things to keep in mind. First and foremost, you can never have more than 4 of the same machine on the board at the same time.
Okay.
With that in mind, most players would choose machines based on how far they can move or how much attack power they have. But a real strike player will be looking at a machine's type and skills. Let's take a quick look, shall we? Pick up that machine on your left.
Burrow's a melee type.
Let's talk about the different ways in which a machine attacks its opponents. In other words, its machine type. If you look at your notes, you'll see this machine here is a melee type.
Mm-hmm. Makes
You can
sense.
also tell by the shape of the base the piece stands on. A melee type machine attacks the first enemy within range, and no one else. We've seen this plenty of times, so just move that piece forward so I can show you some more stuff. Great, now grab your other machine. Looks like we've got ourselves a gunner type machine here. This means they'll only hit the farthest enemy in their attack range.
Okay.
Let's move that machine forward and end your turn so we can take a look at the rest of the pieces. Let's go with this piece first. This
A
is
ram
a
type?
ram type machine. Attack an enemy with it and it'll push the piece backwards. Like this.
Oh, and it gets a grassland bonus.
See, now my machine has taken over your machine's spot on the board. This is a great way to take the advantage away from your opponent if they have the higher ground. Looks like we have one more piece to look at.
Dash
Now,
type.
this is a beauty of a piece.
Also
a
gains a
dash type machine.
bonus from a grassland
When
train.
it attacks, it'll move to the end of its attack range and damage every machine in its path, including your own.
Oof.
So make sure you take a good look at the board before you send it off to the races. You should also make sure it's able to finish its attack on an empty spot. Otherwise, you won't be able to attack at all.
Okay.
Here, I'll show you. Look, it even rotated your piece. A nifty little piece you'll definitely want in your set. If you look at your notes, you'll notice this particular machine has one of the skills I mentioned before. There's quite a few of those, and we haven't even looked at all the machine types yet. But I'm pretty sure you've got more important things to do, so I made you a list. It's got all the tips and tricks we talked about, too.
Okay.
I think that about does it for now, so if you want to play a real game, just let me know.
We shall see. I think I have time. Bristleback strike piece, cool. Beginner practice, we got bit of everything.
Good luck. Time to get serious. Your turn. Armor is your best friend in this game, I'm telling you.
If I overcharge and strike it, I can kill it, right?
Just one piece
Cool.
left. That sure dampens the forge.
What did you... Okay.
Your move, Red. Ah, looks like I lost.
Easy peasy. Ooh, and I get shards, cool. Medium. Yeah, still got time.
Let's do this.
Ooh. We'll put the burrower here. Put another burrower here. Ram, you still only have 2 movement, so we'll put you here. And Lanceorm is climb when from hill terrain.
My turn. Board's all yours. Okay, let's see. You're up, Red. Knocked right off the board. I'm up.
Oof.
That's it for me. Off the board it goes. Well, that's done now. single machine left. That ain't good.
I don't know where to put it.
Time to make my move. That was brutal. Oh, I thought I had that one.
Made me worried for a second there. Alright, I think we'll end it there. And we'll finish this up and then continue on. Thanks for joining me. Until next time.